This will be for the con exercise, systems of equations with substitution. So the two steps using substitution, you want to solve for one variable and then plug it into the other equation. Okay, so there's going to be two equations. And as far as solving for the variable, you might get the variable equal to a constant like x equals 4. Or you might get it in terms of the other variable like it is here, y equals 5x minus 4. So this first step is basically done for you in, I think, all of these problems. But substitution works well when you can solve for one of the variables, because then you can just plug it into the other equation. So here we have an equation, and on the bottom we have an equation in terms of y. We have y equals. So we can take the expression that y equals, okay, and since y equals this expression, we can plug it in place of y. Okay, like I said at the beginning, you solve for one variable using one equation, and then you plug it into the other equation. So we're just going to take that and plug it in, or substitute it in. That's why it's called substitution. Okay, so we have 7x minus 3 times y, so minus 3, and in place of y, we're going to use 5x minus 4. Okay, use parentheses, 5x minus 4, and that equals 20. So basically what we did is we reduced this equation from two variables to just one variable, and now we can solve it. Okay, we have 7x, and we need to use the distributive property. Negative 3 times positive 5x is negative 15x, and negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12, and that equals 20. Combining like terms, 7x minus 15x is going to be negative 8x. And you can do this in one step or two. I'll do it in two steps. We have plus 12, and that equals 20. Okay, and now we want variables on one side and constant terms on the other. So the opposite of positive 12 is negative 12. You want to apply that to both sides of the equal sign. 12 minus 12 cancels. Bring down your negative 8x. Bring down the equal sign, and 20 minus 12 is positive 8. Solving for x, this is x times negative 8. The opposite of times negative 8 is divided by negative 8. Okay, the negative 8's cancel here, and 8 divided by negative 8 is just negative 1. Okay, so just like before, you want to take that x equals negative 1 and plug it in. Okay, now you can plug it into either one, but here we have y equals, so it's much easier to plug it in this equation right here. All right, since we got x equals negative 1, we're going to put the negative 1 right in there. So we have y equals 5 times negative 1 minus 4. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, minus 4 is negative 9. So y equals negative 9 and x equals negative 1. Okay, negative 1 and negative 9. Okay, make sure you put the correct number in the correct box for x and y. Okay, we have our two equations again, but this equation here is already solved for x. We have x equals. So since x equals this expression here, I am going to plug it into the other equation in place of x. All right, so you just want to plug it in or substitute it. Okay, so we have 3 times x, and that's going to be 3. In place of x, we have 3y plus 1. And then plus 4y equals negative 23. Once again, see, we had 2 variables at first, but once we plug it in, now we only have 1 variable and we can solve. Distributing, 3 times 3y is going to be 9y. 3 times positive 1 is positive 3. Plus 4y equals negative 23. Combining like terms, 9y plus 4y is 13y. And we still have plus 3. And that equals negative 23. Okay, subtract. We want variables on one side and numbers on the other. The opposite of positive 3 is minus 3, negative 3. So I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides of the equal sign. 3 minus 3 is gone. That's just 0. Bring down the 13y. Bring down the equals. Negative 23 minus 3 is negative 26. Here we have y times 13. The opposite of times 13 is divided by 13. Okay, you do that to both sides. 13 divided by 13 is just 1. And negative 26 divided by 3 is negative 2. So y equals negative 2. All right, you want to take that and plug it in. So like I said, you can plug it into either, but it's easier to plug it into the one where they already solved for the variable. Okay, so y equals negative 2 goes right in there, and x is going to equal 3 times negative 2 plus 1. That's going to be negative 6 plus 1, which is negative 5. Okay, so x is negative 5, y is negative 2. Negative 5, hit tab, and negative 2.